Welcome to Melodifestivalklubben, Laurell, eller Laurel Barker, Canadian songwriter who has made Malmö her home. Do you have two personas? Are you the artist Laurel now, or the songwriter Laurel Barker?
I think songwriters are artists, so I would say that I'm one and the same. Yeah. And I also wouldn't necessarily, hopefully, limit myself as an artist to, to only stick to one lane or one genre. I think being an artist is about trying new things, and as a writer, you get to do that too. So I really feel that I'm just doing me.
You've become an established songwriter. You're very well known now at Melodifestivalen and in Eurovision as well. Making a debut as an artist, at least in this context. Why are you taking this step now?
It's actually a surprise. Like, I didn't see this kind of happening at this point in my writing career. But I started to see the signs that, people were coming back, like labels were coming back asking about the singer on the demo of songs I was pitching. And there was just like an interest coming from random places. So I was just observing this kind of unfold. And at the same time, was just getting a lot of encouragement from different corners of my life to step back on stage and to not worry about who doesn't like it or who is going to judge me, but actually to just, accept the fact that there's a part of me that I can share on stage that I can't share off stage. And so it took some opening up on my part, and that was definitely a process, but yeah.
So have you always been more of a songwriter then than a singer, a performer? Did you perform back home in Canada?
I did, yeah. I released a number of singles in Canada and radio singles, and toured. And yeah, I've been doing this a long time on the artist side. So it's like, I kind of feel pretty lucky because I feel like I have the chance to do it again. And the first run was a really great time too. So it's like, yeah, I just got bit by the songwriting bug and started to grow a lot of interest in helping other artists break top 40 in Canada and, go on their journey. Because the Canadian music industry is very insular in terms of export. And it's still a big goal of mine to try to like help connect the dots a little bit more for Canadian artists to break out of Canada when they're independent. Because the only ones that the rest of the world knows are ones that are signed usually in the US. So.
This is what, your 9th or 10th contribution to Melodifestival in one way or another. But I'm intrigued because the majority of your songs in Melodifestival are single word titles. Is this something that's conscious, or is it just a coincidence?
I think it's totally coincidental. I have a ton of songs in my roster that are like tons of words and then some that are single words. I think it could also be that as a writer, sometimes you want to not give away the whole concept of a song in a title. So it's kind of nice to leave some surprises. So I think it could just be maybe like a sign of the times,
Is the title of the song actually the last thing you decide on? Or do you have that in your head and then
is the title of the song the last thing I decide on?
Yeah.
Well, if I could just show you my title list that I keep on my phone, it's just like pages and pages and pages, and I'd still be scrolling by the end of this interview. So I would say that it's usually the first thing I decide on, but I don't always draw from that. And sometimes the song just falls out of your mouth or falls out of the sky, or you're picking that apple from a tree essentially, and it's more about like a feeling or a message that you feel like you're just kind of like relaying. So sometimes it doesn't happen that way, and even when you start with a title, like you still analyze at the end of the day, like what do we write this song about, and what do we, as the people in the room, feel like the right title would be for the song.
Moving over to this year and your song Sober, what's the message in this song?
The song is about getting ready for a night out. You're going out with your friends and you're in search of this high, this feeling, and you quickly realize that sorry about that. You quickly realize that it's something that can't be found in a substance. And it's essentially like, I'm starting to realize as I'm going through these interviews that it's actually a love song. And it's like really the story of how I met my husband. So I'm getting like even more excited to sing it because I'm like, this is our story. This is so cool. And that's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah. And how will you stage it? Will you be alone? Do you have any dancers or?
I'm not giving away any secrets. I'm not allowed, but I am very, very excited about the number. And Melodifestivalen always, I think, does such an amazing job at like presenting songs, and so many songs, at such a high level. So to be able to work with this team of people at SVT and SVT, and to be able to kind of make this song come to life per se, I'm really, really excited. And a lot of the input has come from me and my team. And so I'm really, really stoked to open this window into my mind and let people in. Yeah.
And another interesting thing about Sober and you in general is that you don't team up with the same co-writers at Mello every year. Is this a deliberate policy on your part?
No, actually, the one thing writers really don't have control over is what songs get cut and what songs don't. And so we just like have our people that we love to write with. And I write with a number of different people in different genres of music all over the world. And with regards to this song, this just felt like the right song for me to bring. And it was the song that, that made it through the testing as well. But it's very much the song I want to be singing right now. It makes me feel just super happy.
And also, do you think it has helped you or made you more nervous to write songs to others and watch them perform them before you're taking the stage on your own and perform?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I would say that it's probably been like a benefit for me to be backstage singing backup since Renata performed on Melodifestivalen. It's been a very eye-opening experience, and it's really allowed me to see like behind the scenes, like how things work. And so I know what to expect next weekend when I show up for rehearsals. And I think that that's a real benefit. And I have major respect for these young artists that are showing up that have, never performed on a stage this big in front of this many people before and are just going to stand up there and own it. Like, I'm blown away by that, like truly, because even I am dealing with my nervous feelings and my excitement to be a part of the show. But for sure it's come as a plus. Yeah.
Can I ask you, have you submitted songs to other national selections this year?
Sometimes I have no idea because I'm not the only writer on the song. And so there are like numerous writers that I work with that have written for various delegations and countries. And, countries are always looking for as many songs as they can get as well because they want to have their pick. So I actually have no idea. It's not really a focus for me right now. So yeah, the artist has just kind of taken over.
What's your proudest achievement so far, do you think, in this Eurovision world and Mello world?
Gosh, I can't think of one thing. I guess maybe my proudest achievement would be working with the Swiss delegation with Luca Hani and just seeing how every single piece of that process was handled, from the creative side to the sourcing of the song to the A&R putting together the writers, and really choosing the right time to take the right artist. I think there's so much props to Switzerland for that. There's so much intention that goes into every number in every country, and I just think they did everything. They executed it at such a high level. So I was proud to be a part of that, and I don't think it's ever just like one thing I do or one thing someone else does. I think this is really just, this industry is all about a joint effort. There's no superstar that does it all.
2019 was quite a year, wasn't it? Tel Aviv. You had three songs in the Eurovision final. Perhaps we shouldn't talk perhaps about two of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you know, it's a very difficult competition, and there are so many factors that go into every song, even in the writing room, let alone every number once it hits the stage. And yeah, again, like major, yeah, just I was very grateful to be a part of all three of those songs. And every country is doing their best, trying to put their best foot forward, and that takes a lot. And I don't think people understand quite how much goes on behind the scenes, and how many people are trying to deliberate over, you know, what's the best thing. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's, I think, the fun of Eurovision.
Well, you got one very high placing out of three, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and last but not least, you are a Canadian living in Malmö. Do you have time to go back to Canada?
We were just back for Christmas. It was a really, really quick visit, and we were actually spending quite a bit of time there last summer. We just had a baby, so she's just over a year old now. So we had a lot of, you know, after the pandemic, we had a lot of time to make up for in Canada. And I was actually married and pregnant when I took my husband to Canada for the first time. So the whole family was like, you better bring him now, otherwise he's going to get demoted once the baby comes and he won't get any attention at all. So we've been there a few times, like since the pandemic kind of opened back up again. So yeah, our plan is to just kind of go back and forth, because I have very, very strong ties to Canada.
Do you have something you can't travel without that you bring to Sweden or you bring to Canada?
My recording gear. Yeah, it goes everywhere with me. It's just, yeah, you just never know when someone's going to need a vocal or, you know, your team's going to ask you to re-sing something or change a lyric, or yeah, always working.
And I also have a quick last question for you, and that is if you want to say something to all the OGA Sweden or Melodifestivalklubben members out there.
I just want to say hi. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm so excited to do this with you this year. And I really hope you enjoy the number. I'm working really hard on it, and yeah, I'm just really excited to do this with you. And thank you for just like being open to being with me on this journey. You know, it's quite a ride, and I think a lot of you know how hard I hustle and know my grind, and it's just like really I'm just really grateful that you see me, and I see you too. So yeah, let's do this.